Hello everyone and welcome to Little Sprout Storytime, our preschool ages 3 to 5 storytime here at Clark County Public Library, although anyone's free to join in. I'm Miss Alissa and I'll be reading you today. So, I know it's October, which of course is a fabulous month just like the others, but this month we have something very special that's happening. Do you know what it is? Do you ever go outside at night and usually you see stars, but what else do you see? The moon, right? Well, this October we get to have 2 full moons. And do you know what that means? Our second moon is a literal blue moon. It's a once in a blue moon and it's gonna be on Halloween. Awesome, right? So pretty special because we get our harvest moon, we get a blue moon. It's just Moonsville this month. So I got some lunar reads for us today. And our first one is called Kitten's First Full Moon by Kevin Henkes. This was actually a Caldecott Award winner, which means that it won an award for its excellent illustrations for the pictures. And we are reading both this and our other story today with permission from Simon & Schuster. HarperCollins, my mistake. Sorry, because this was published by Green Willow Press, which is an imprint of HarperCollins. Kitten's First Full Moon by Kevin Henkes. Do you remember the first time you saw the full moon? Yeah, it was pretty big, wasn't it? It was Kitten's first full moon. When she saw it, she thought, oh, there's a little bowl of milk in the sky. And she wanted it. So she closed her eyes and stretched her neck and opened her mouth and licked. But Kitten only ended up with a bug on her tongue. Poor kitty. Ooh. Still, there was the little bowl of milk just waiting. So she pulled herself together and wiggled her bottom and sprang from the top step of the porch. But Kitten only tumbled, bumping her nose and banging her ear and pinching her tail. Poor Kitten. Ooh. You ever tried to reach through the moon and failed? Yeah, it doesn't work out, does it? Still, there was the little bowl of milk just waiting. So she chased it down the sidewalk, through the garden, past the field, and by the pond. But Kitten never seemed to get closer. Poor Kitten. This is pretty far away, is it? Still, there was the little bowl of milk just waiting. So she ran to the tallest tree she could find, and she climbed and climbed and climbed to the very top. But Kitten still couldn't reach the bowl of milk, and now she was scared. Poor Kitten. What could she do? What can she do? Then in the pond, Kitten saw another bowl of milk, and it was bigger. What a night! Uh-oh. So she raced down the tree and raced through the grass and raced to the edge of the pond. She leaped with all her might. Poor Kitten. She was wet and sad and tired and hungry. Was the moon really a bowl of milk in the pond? So she went back home. And there was a great big bowl of milk on the porch, just waiting for her. Lucky kitten. The end. Man, the moon is pretty far away. I mean, sometimes it looks so big on a full moon that you can just reach out and touch it, but you still can't. So, if it's so hard to touch, do you think that you can leap over the moon? I don't know. In our next story, she's certainly going to try. This is Cindy Moon by Lori Mortensen and illustrated by Jeff Mack. Published by HarperCollins. Cindy Moo by Lori Mortensen, illustrated by Jeff Mack. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Over at the Diddle farm, a little bit past 8, the cows all heard a nursery rhyme that caused a great debate. Diddle Cow stood in the barn and listened to each word about the cow that jumped the moon, amazed at what they heard. That cow could beat all the Olympic sports jumpers, huh? Across the moon? Cried Buttercup. No way, said Honey Bun. The moon's too high and much too far. It simply can't be done. And as the cow scoffed at the thought, a voice rose loud and true. Why can't a cow jump to the moon? That voice was Cindy Moo's. The cows began to argue, each took a different side, but in the end they all confessed that none of them had tried. So Cindy Moo raised up a hoof and said that it was true. If that cow could jump the moon, by golly, I can too. Has anyone ever told you you can't do something and then you try to do it anyway? For a good reason? As Cindy Moo waltzed to the field, the others gathered round. She jumped that moon with room to spare in one great bovine bound. She pawed her hoofs, she shook her head, she ran and picked up speed, and with a mighty woo, she jumped across a prickly weed. Told you so, said Honey Bun. Too bad, said Buttercup. Cows were meant to jump the moon. Why don't you just give up? But Cindy Moo ignored her friends. She made a solemn vow. She'd jump across the silver moon as soon as she knew how. The next night after grazing, she caught a stunning sight. The moon was perched upon the hill, a ball of silver light. Looks like it should be an easy jump. Cindy Moo let out a snort and charged up to the top. But when she reached the grassy peak, she skidded to a stop! Instead of staying on the hill, much to her surprise, the moon flew off the grassy ridge back up to star-filled skies. Cindy Moo plopped on the ground. Would it be for naught? Jumping to the moon, she said, is harder than I thought. Back inside the barn that night, the worst of all came true. Rain clouds swept the moon away. Now what was she to do? She couldn't jump what wasn't there. Perhaps the herd was right. The moon and cows would never mix. Not then or any night. But late that night, when raindrops stopped, she peeked outside and found the moon had slipped down to the earth upon the rain-soaked ground. What if think's gonna happen? Cindy Moo kicked up her heels and raced with all her might. And with a happy woo, she jumped across the moon that night. Technically it counts. Her friends came out and marveled much. Miss Moo, you've done it now. A cow can really jump the moon as long as she knows how. And ever since that rainy night, the cows do not debate. Whenever rain clouds pass their way, and it is growing late, they gaze upon that puddled moon and jump it 2 by 2. And guess who leads the diddle herd? Of course, it's Cindy Moo. The end. All right, so you probably heard that rhyme at the beginning of the story, and it should be pretty familiar. So today I have this little box, and it's gonna help guide us to say this rhyme once more. Are you ready? All right, let's go. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. What happens next? The little dog laughed. See such a sport. And the dish ran away. Uh-oh. With the spoon. The end. All of them go back in the box now. Well, that was fun, isn't it? That's a good old classic rhyme. Okay. All right, so all I have left for you today is I do have a craft. So you've heard of sun catchers, right? How about a moon catcher? So to make this, I took a paper plate and I cut out the shape of the moon and decided to do a star as well. And you can do whichever phase of the moon. I did a crescent moon, but if you haven't noticed, the moon changes quite a bit, so you've got a few options there. And then I took some tissue paper and some clear contact paper, or you could do like clear packaging tape, and I use that to tape down different colors, so that way if I put it at a window and the moonlight shines through, it'll make it glow. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.